of Rural Reliance with the Canny Couple. I'm Julia.
And I'm Aaron.
We're a small homestead family that work every single day on reducing our dependencies on outside sources, merging homesteading and frugality.
So, you know
End
what
of the
today is? End of the month, which means homestead frugal tactics.
Yep.
So, let's talk about what we did good, bad, and indifferent this month.
Yeah. So, I feel like everybody's feeling the pinch. We're seeing it every day.
Yes, stories galore, about people struggling to make ends meet.
Restaurants that have been around.
So, let's tell our story.
Yeah.
One of my favorite restaurants is Red Lobster. I know. I know.
But you have to understand where we are. This is not unusual.
No, and it is one of the main first sit-down restaurants I ever remember going to as a kid.
Yep.
So, always packed. Always crowded. And after the news broke, we had a couple of other restaurants in the area before when the news broke, immediately closed in the area.
Yes.
So we thought, let's go before we can't go.
Like, get you at least one more meal there.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. So there was 5, maybe 6 other tables total with people at them in the whole restaurant. And this was Saturday at 12:30, so lunchtime on a Saturday, which around here used to be wait in line.
Yeah. You waited in line no matter what.
Right.
Like, that's what we remember growing up. That's what we experienced when we were first dating.
Yeah.
I mean, you waited.
Yep.
You just did. So it was just one of those things. But it's not just that. You have all these companies that are coming out with new prices. Target is lowering prices. Supposed to be lowering prices. Although, I'm going to say this.
Is it just going back to what it used to be?
Well, no.
Oh.
How many frugal people, YouTubers out there do you hear go shop at Target? That's not the place you hear them talk about going to shop.
It is not.
And there's a reason for that. Target is expensive.
Yep.
It's very, very expensive. I can't. I cannot go there. Like, for me, it just costs too much money. And I could go somewhere else to get it. Plus, it's not a very good grocery store area. And I actually read an article on that. This said that was where Walmart actually started doing better. So you never hear them talk about the clearance at Target or anything like that. You'll hear Walmart clearance, things like that, if you're listening to people who are super frugal, super cheap. But you never...
I used to, back in the day, find a few things at Target on clearance, like $5 and below, like shirt-wise and stuff. But I can't tell you the last time I've ever even seen anything that cheap.
No. And so you have companies lowering their prices. I heard Aldi's, I don't know how much this is. I heard Aldi's about to do a price cut again.
I saw some of it there. Some of it was 5 cents here, 10 cents there, type
Pennies
of thing.
make dollars.
They do.
Pennies make dollars. If their cheese comes down or their butter, it's actually a good deal. Butter and cheese are expensive right now. But everybody's feeling the pinch.
Yep.
And even though the inflation numbers are going down, the cost of nothing is going down. It's the cost. Inflation is going down. The cost is not going down. If you look at the actual numbers, they're saying actual inflation is going down. The prices aren't rising as quickly as they were before. But the costs aren't coming down. We're still paying more.
Right. And I've seen the price to produce is still increasing.
Yes.
Which sounds like the price to produce is still increasing, but somebody's might be coming out at a loss on products, which might be, part of the reason the economy is doing bad.
I don't know. All I know is 6 months ago, I could get eggs at the grocery store for 99 cents. I can't get eggs at the grocery store for $2.50.
Yeah.
And that tells me that there's a disconnect somewhere. There's a disconnect somewhere. So we're trying to do our part and make sure that we are sticking to our budget because we're seeing this. We know it's here. And we're trying to be mindful and conscious and being very careful with our budget. And that's what this segment's for, to talk about that. So,
yep.
start talking about what we did. Good, bad, the ugly, all of it. Groceries. We were on point.
Right on budget. I mean, $1.11 over.
Okay, and I can justify this. And you like, you can't justify budget. I can, because I actually had 1 week this month where I overspent on our grocery budget because I wanted to cut costs on cooking. Mother's Day.
That's true.
Mother's Day, I bought things that I wouldn't normally buy. I bought pre-cooked chicken, rotisserie chicken. I bought Alfredo sauce.
That's
I bought
true.
all of this stuff that I normally would not buy to cut costs.
So we would have been under otherwise.
We would have probably been several dollars under.
Yeah.
But that was okay. We talked about it. We were
Mhm.
okay with it. We did that so I could actually take a nap on Mother's Day. That was my gift.
I took one too.
No, you didn't get to.
Oh, no, I didn't,
You
did I?
didn't get to.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was trying to.
He was trying to, but he didn't get to. So on Father's Day, we'll make sure Aaron gets a nap. But this was also a really bad sale month.
It was.
It was a really bad
And
sale month.
a lot of it has to do with the holidays.
Mother's Day,
Mother's Day, Cinco de Mayo,
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. All of those, if you ever notice, the grocery sales are more inflated because people know that people's going to cook out for Memorial Day. They know they're going to cook for Mother's Day. And they know they're going to make Mexican for Cinco de Mayo.
Yep. And you think you're getting a good deal.
Right.
You think you're getting a good deal. I did get some beans on sale. I got them for 88 cents per pound, which is a really
That's
good deal
true.
for us. I did.
So you had to get 12 of them.
Had to get 12, so it makes them 88 cents a pound, and we get black beans. And I normally scavenge all of them
Yeah.
that I can. That's like my
Well, we were going to get
meat sticks,
meat sticks.
but they were bad.
I put a few in there, and she happened to see it in the cart. Like, they had mold on them or something.
It was, we did not. No, we did not
That
get them.
that was scary.
That was scary. We're like, okay, yep, we're good with this. We don't need these.
No.
I'll just get all beans. And
Yeah.
but that is a really good thing for us to have, because we eat beans
We eat black beans probably two
3 times a month. at
Well,
least.
yeah, because one of them would be lunch. I wasn't thinking lunch. I was just thinking dinner.
Yeah, we'll eat them for lunch. Like this week or last week, I made like a chili mac.
Yeah.
We ate them that way, or I'll make like a bean dip with rice, which Aaron really likes. Something like that's really easy because it takes a few minutes, and I'm canning them now, which has been really nice to have them pre-canned, ready to go, and that makes my days a little bit easier, especially getting lunch ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Our electric bill. So we were way lower.
Yes, we were. What was it?
118.
118. So really happy about that. Overall, we even got a notice that said,
Yeah, we get the letters. We get letters. We're spent $118, and we get the letters saying that we are.
your energy usage was lower than efficient homes by 11%. So, for example, efficient homes were 11% more on electricity than we were.
Yep. And so we're really, it's that time of the year. We don't need
We don't
anything
need
on.
heat. We don't need air.
Or anything like that.
Right.
That's what really takes a lot of electric. for
Right,
us.
right. April and May past 2 years have been really good for that. And I know, like, our electric bill comes at the first of the month, but like so far this month on electricity,
He's checking his he's checking the numbers.
So we've used 324 kilowatt hours so far this month, and we've got
A week and a half.
week and a half probably before the next bill. I'm really happy with that.
And we've purchased some things to help for next month that we'll talk about here
Yep.
for the next month. That's hopefully going to help. So we're really happy about that. It's just a trend. We are going to be more expensive in the winter time because it is really hard for us to heat the basement. So we will have to have the heater on just because of our basement. But in the summertime, the spring, the fall,
Right.
we'll keep it off as long as we can. And that's because we have water lines in our basement. If we didn't have to worry about water lines freezing, we
We would
would
just heat the upstairs.
we would just heat the upstairs, but we can't
Yeah.
risk that because water. When you hear about other people across the country, how their houses are set up, like some people have water lines outside and things like that.
Yes.
Like Aaron has talked about this, like in
That,
our area, everybody has water lines in their basement. Like
right.
everybody has a basement around here. Or it's underneath their
Mm-hmm.
house, and this is something you have to be very, very careful about.
Yep.
So we're really good with electric. We were actually below budget on almost everything.
We were. We still ended up saving money from our budget from the month. So really happy about that. Anytime we're below that, and we were able to buy a few things at the end of the month, even though we were below to keep us below budget that we needed. We
Absolutely.
knew that we had, you know, room in the budget at that point.
So we had room, household items that we needed,
Yep.
a restock on toilet paper, things like that that we can go ahead and get because we have a little extra room in the budget, just to make sure that we're keeping our forward momentum. That's kind of how we like to use that extra cash because our budget is built for a lot of saving, anyways.
It is.
We build our budget around saving money. That's our goal. Here's how much we want to save. And if we can get more, then we have a little bit of extra room for household items, homestead projects. It's another
Yep.
big one because we have our chicken feeders we're going to need to update next month or the month after. All of these things we have to look at, and we would like to do that with the extra cash versus like this month we had to buy a bigger chicken feeder for the coop. And we had to use, the cash from the animal fund.
Right.
Whereas next month we're hoping to have that extra cash set aside.
And when we're talking about the budget, we live way below our means, so 50% is always going to savings.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we built our budget off of. We built our budget off of saving 50% of our take home.
Right. But, we've got money going sinking funds. We've got money going into some investments out of the rest of that budget each month. So, I mean, when we talk about being below budget, we are below in categories like miscellaneous, animal, homesteading, electric, stuff like that is where we're making, using some of that extra leftover money to get some of that.
And still putting our savings, our emergency
Mm-hmm.
fund, all of these things that are part of our budget, not including the money that we have set aside to save for future projects.
Yeah.
Like this month, we actually had a really big project that happened. We had trees cut down.
Yep.
It was a huge project. We talked about this, that we needed these trees, and these people came in, did it, and we had the money saved up for that because that's one of our goals was to have that money set aside so they could come cut those down. Apps and surveys. So
$5.15 this month, and it was from Receipt app. So this was our first time cashing out on Frisbee. I will say it's been a okay one. So what they do, for example, is each receipt gets you usually 5 points, and each point equals a penny. So then after so many, you'll get a 10-point one, and then ever so often you'll get like a bonus, like 40 or 50 cent one. So just scanning those receipts from a penny perspective, you can cash out at any time. You could cash out at a penny if you wanted to, but I cashed out at $5. I waited till I hit $5, and it actually hit like a 40-cent one there on my last one, which put me up to $5.15. So cashed out on that one. Very close to cashing out on two other receipt apps. Should cash out on them at the first or second week in June. So,
Aaron's amazing on those. I've been slacking on that because this is my busy season. It just is. It just I go from sun up to sundown. I feel like.
So yeah, so that's all we had in that coming back this month. But been utilizing other things. For example, credit card wise, we had one. It's like, hey, double your cash back for the next month and a half. Okay, signing up for that, So instead of like 5% back at restaurants, we'd get 10% back at restaurants. Definitely sign up for that. And one of the other ones that we had, what was that one? It was something with the Shop Your Way card. If you spend so much in a like gas category or something, you can get an extra $5 back or something. So signed up for that one. If I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I don't.
Aaron's amazing at keeping up with all this. he just knows. Food production. We are just beginning, but man, are we hitting it.
Yeah. So berries galore.
Berries.
Blueberries have been every day picking.
Every day.
We're probably at 2 gallon now. We're close.
Yeah, we're close to 2 gallons.
We're close to 2 gallon, and I've been eating these with my lunch.
Yep.
As well.
Because I have them clean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a video on this of how, when we have a few more, but how we actually manage all of this, because it becomes a lot.
It does.
It really does. And we've had a lot of fails in the past by not having a system. Last year I came up with a system. It really worked for us. Mm-hmm. It's working really well for us this year. I've kind of adjusted it a bit because I don't have as many berries right now. It's a bit manageable. So I've kind of adjusted that system a little bit. But we wash as we get them. This is one of my big preservation tips and tricks. Get it ready when you don't have as much to do versus getting it ready when you have gallons and gallons of stuff to deal with. It's so much better. So much better. So much easier to deal with in the long run if you just go ahead and do your cleaning. You get it ready to go, put it in the freezer, and then you can deal with it when it's time.
Yeah, so we've been getting blueberries, gummies, black raspberries, loganberries, boysenberries, couple of gooses. Still waiting for them to
currants,
hit.
But the currants are so small right now. We're not at the stage where we're going to be eating enough from them to do anything more than eat off them. The gummies, they're good. They're very seedy, so they're one that will be more of a jelly. It's going to be a small batch. We're talking a couple half pints, which is fine.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. But we're a small family, so I don't need, 12 pints of gummy jelly. I only need a few half pints of goby jelly because we're a small family. We won't eat as much as a larger family does. So it makes it worth our time to pick them. Yeah. But we're definitely getting things. We had a fail here though. We had a fail in our food production. We thought I had killed some of our plants. We had gotten vinegar. We had sprayed it.
Yeah, if you watched that video, where we thought we killed the tomatoes and peppers.
And it must have blown back onto those or carried just enough that some of the leaves had started dying off. Well, they actually came out of it, but we weren't sure. Aaron was pretty positive they were dead. He's like, they're dead. They're dead. They're dying slowly. They're dead. They weren't dead. I thought they were okay, but he was convinced they were dead.
Well, from a food production standpoint, I was trying to make sure we didn't lose out on anything.
So we ended up getting 40 plants. Cost us about $50. We got 40 starts from Haas, 20 tomatoes, and 20 peppers, jalapeno, and banana, which is good. Aaron likes banana peppers. I need to really restock his pickled pepper stash because he goes through a lot of pickled banana peppers.
I really like those.
Well, he also likes pickled jalapenos, don't you?
I do.
But bananas are his favorite.
Bananas are my favorite.
They are. They absolutely. And I found they're so easy to pickle. They're just so easy. It takes no time. The worst part is prepping the peppers.
Especially if you got hot peppers mixed in.
Yep. I don't prep any peppers without gloves on now. Ever. Again. In my life.
Learned the hard way.
We did. We thought we were going to have to go to the emergency room. It was so bad. It was hours. We did have a fail with yard sales for side hustles.
It's been a bad month.
It has been so bad.
It's been raining almost every weekend.
And a lot of really big ones that should have happened, like were set to happen, didn't.
Yeah, like ones that had happened last year, or the year before, and that are constantly happening. They've either canceled them or put them all on the same weekend.
Everything's on the same weekend.
We have one date coming up where we had the possibility, I think, of going to 6 different big yard sales, but they're all in different directions.
Yep. There's no way.
No.
There's absolutely no way. And a lot of them are waiting till like the last minute to say, hey, we're going to do a community yard sale. It's like the week of. We're going to do community yard sale. Sign up for the community yard sale. Like, people need time to get this stuff together. They need time to figure out what they want to sell. You can't just go, I'm sorry I'm venting here, but this is a little frustrating. Like, they need time to get it together because they also need time to price it, have it set out so it's faster for them in that morning.
Yeah, so that's been a fail this month. We've got a few little things, but not much.
Not much. But a couple of things. It's not been a total kill. I have really stopped using my microwave this month. That was a plus. I did. I've actually switched to the warming feature on our Ninja, and the Ninja, it's a convection oven air fryer. So I got the one that flips up and down. I love this thing. I do. I've cooked on it before. We use it with our EcoFlow battery.
Right. So we're not using the energy paying for it because we're using the solar to charge up those batteries.
And one of the things I really liked about it was the reheat, but it was never really, it was inconvenient for me before.
We didn't have time before.
So now it takes just a little bit more work, but my days are planned to where I can make sure I get it in there. When the baby wakes up from her nap, get it in there. She gets to play. By the time she's ready to eat, it's done.
Yep.
It's ready to go, and the food tastes better.
It does.
It tastes so much better
than microwave.
It really does. It tastes so much better. If I could get rid of the microwave, I would. I hate a microwave. I've said this from the moment we've gotten together.
We honestly use any more of the microwave more for defrost.
We do. That's my other trick is wait time defrost. Is a much better way to heat your food to where it doesn't make your breaded items hard. And also for the little one, if I needed to heat something in there, it doesn't get it so hot. It will heat it. It's like a much slower heat, and it doesn't get so hot that she can't actually eat the food that I'm making.
Right.
Whereas if I do, for us, it's too hot. Eric can't eat it. I scald his mouth. We also switched to cloth diapers. So this is one of the reasons we had a lot of extra margin in our budget. We still use disposable, but for the most part, we're using cloth diapers during the day. When it's, primary me, I manage it.
When I'm not managing
When Eric's not managing it. When Eric's on baby duty, they're disposable. But about 70% of the time we're using cloth diapers. 60-70%. But that's helped our budget a lot.
It has. And we did that because
she's not ready.
No.
She's not ready.
We tried.
We tried. It wasn't ready. We thought she might be ready at that point, but she's not. We're just give her more time to grow into it. When she's ready, she'll let us know.
Yep.
Mint Mobile.
It was that time. Oh, well, I was going to say it was that time for me to renew, which
No.
I did, but actually the big thing from that was they had an offer going that they sent out
To current users.
For Paramount Plus, that you get it for 6 months for free. So we took advantage of that.
Absolutely.
If we just watch one show here or there, it's worth it because we didn't do anything for it.
Paying.
And they make you enter your credit card because they're hoping you forget about it when it comes time. But I set the reminder 3 weeks ahead of time so that when it comes time, we cancel it, so we're not paying for it.
Aaron's great at this. We're so careful. We've gotten burnt like once on this.
Yes.
One time, I think it was the site more than anything.
I think it was too.
Because I think they got you twice.
Might have.
They might have got you twice, and it was the same site. So I really think it was the site that did it, not.
Right.
But I can see why, because the owner of the site, he's good at making money.
Yep. So yeah, but you know, hey, that's a great plus. I will say, you know, I did see like Philo that we use. We're grandfathered in an old plan. They're raising their prices again. So they're adding another one to it. So they're going up to $28 a month now.
Oh wow, you didn't tell me that.
No, I saw that in earlier today.
Oh.
So we are paying $16 is what we are still on.
We switched. We had Sling when they first came out, and but then they went up, and we weren't grandfathered in. They raised our price, and then we were 25. Then we saw Philo, and we looked at that. But Philo has kept us at the introductory price that we started with. We started with them when they first came out. It's just like Sling. It really is. There's no real difference between them.
Right. So all we pay, for example, for entertainment, we paid the $16 for Philo, and then we got the $2.99 Hulu Disney Plus offer last Black Friday. So we pay $18.99 a month is all we pay for entertainment.
That's it.
We are not going above that. It's going to be something free, or we have to cut one of the other services we've said.
Absolutely. Yeah, we feel like $20 is more than enough. We don't have enough time. And we use the free stuff more.
We do.
We do. We naturally go to the free.
If we had good signal to get the MeTV and MeTV Plus, we wouldn't even. We probably wouldn't even get the Villa.
We wouldn't. So because that's one of the things we really watch. On Philo is MeTV, MeTV Plus. It's just that's how old school we are. But we like Pluto, Roku Live. We like it as well. That's tend to be our main things.
Yeah.
So what are our goals for this month? So we have a few things that we're working on for this month, a few things that we're hoping to help cut our costs. So one of them is air conditioning. So we're going to avoid putting on the air conditioners, our little ones that we had to help kind of cool down the house. But we did invest in a fan, another window fan.
And when we're talking about window fans, we're talking about one that actually fits in your window and can either take air in or out, or both at the same time.
Yeah, it's a little thing, and we use it more as a way to pull the cool air in the evening and kind of pull the hot air out during the day.
Right.
And it actually has helped quite a bit.
We
found this one at our local Ollie's. We had a 15% off. We love the one we got for our Homestead kitchen. We love it. It's amazing. But we paid like $70 for that one. This one was quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had another cheaper option, but
we had gotten fans in that brand, and we did not like them. I threw them away.
Yeah, literally took those to the dump like
a couple of days ago.
A week ago or something.
Yeah, I told him, I said, these things are. We got them for the offices before.
They were ones that turned.
The tower ones, they're terrible.
Awful.
Terrible. I like my $20 box fans I got better than anything.
Yeah.
They're just so much better. So we're trying to avoid the air conditioning units, the two little ones, as long as we can. We know we're eventually going to have to put them out, but
last year we made it to July 1st.
We made it to July. So hopefully we can make it through June. Depends. We kind of have hit a cool spot. We're about to hit 40-degree nights.
It's going to be nice. It feels like a fall day outside right
now. It does. It's kind of nice picking the berries. But there's so much sun. But there's also a lot of rain. So we're hoping we kind of have kind of like what we did last year. It was kind of a cooler beginning to summer before it got really hot. So we have multiple yard sales coming up in June, all of them on one day.
All of them one day.
We know of.
That we're trying to hit 2 of them on one day. Probably an extra hour drive from one. We're going to hit one first and then go to the other afterward. We'll see. We've been to one. We know it's one of our go-to ones.
Yep.
But the other one we've never been to before. So we're close enough in range it's the only one that we could make it to on our list of all the ones that day. So we thought we would try it too.
Absolutely. We have lots of harvesting. And the main thing with harvesting is making sure that when we harvest, it doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
This is so important. If you pick it, you don't let it go bad. And I think where people realize when you start to have berries like blackberries and raspberries.
Raspberries are the worst.
Logans. And the Logans and the poisons aren't, they're pretty bad.
They are too. Yeah.
The gummies, I've had a few small ones, even with the day, they went bad. They will go bad within 24 hours. Mm. You have a very, very small time frame. But I also pick when they're like 3/4 of the way ripe. I pick when they still might not be completely ripe, so I give them, 20 hours, 24 hours to actually fully ripen, and get them clean, get them in the freezer. So that's so important. Make sure we keep that system going. So we're getting as much as we can. Plus, hopefully we'll start to have squashes this month as well.
Yeah.
And we'll do our second succession of the squashes in the third succession. So we do our summer squashes. I plant one row, then I plant a couple weeks later another row, and then another couple weeks later another row. And that keeps me in summer squashes, especially if you look at the days, for months.
Yeah.
Homestead projects. We're looking for a yew cedar. I was like, what does it say?
So what we're trying to do is to do some clover. We're trying to get some clover in, and with clover you have to use a drop cedar
or something,
or by hand. So
it's a big area to do by hand.
Right. So we were trying to find a drop cedar. Looked online. The cheapest we could find was $80. New. But we did find some people that's got some that look pretty brand new on Facebook Marketplace. So we'll probably be trying to pick up one of those, for under $20.
And this is something we're going to be doing throughout years. This is not we're done with it with one project. This is years and years.
This is not those people that bought it for that one time and now they put it up on Facebook Marketplace.
No, this is we're going to be using this thing till the wheels fall off kind of purchase. Right. So, but we were looking and we knew doing a hand cedar was not going to work for the amount of area we have to go. I told Aaron, I was like, this would take forever. This will take forever. And not only that, it wouldn't be consistent.
Yeah.
It would be very hard to be consistent with this. So we're hoping to actually get clover to take over the majority of our fields, but ripping out all the grass isn't really possible. So we're going to try to do this over the years, seeding it as we go through. We bought thermal cooker. So we had some extra cash. I had never heard of thermal cooker.
This was one that we saw from Self-Reliance Festival.
I
can't remember that speaker.
I can't either. But he was talking about like a non-toxic kitchen, and this was one of the things he brought up in the way. We would have bought this.
Off-grid cooking.
This would have been one of the things we would have bought years ago if we'd known about it. And if I really like it, I might buy another one because I think it would come in handy. So what it is, it's a stainless steel pot with a lid. All stainless steel. You put all your food in it. You get it hot and heated to like a boil. And then you stick it in like this thermos. No plug-in or anything. You put the lid on it and let it sit. And it cooks it in, 4 to 8 hours.
Yep.
So that is its purpose. It's a thermal cooker. And to us, this just makes so much sense in the summer. I can start...
Not heat the house up.
Not heat the house up. Start it in the morning. Put it in. Even if it puts off heat, I can set this outside.
Yeah.
It would be perfectly fine because it's in a contained area. It's thermos. And we'll do a video on it. But a lot of people say beans, soups, anything like that are amazing. I would say probably do rice dishes in it. Probably even pasta. I would say if you could do it in an Instant Pot, you could do it here.
Or I was thinking even maybe a crock pot.
Mm-hmm. Or if you do it in the crock pot, you can do it here. Anything that you wouldn't need to because you can make spaghetti and things like that in an Instant Pot, you would just follow that recipe. It's just going to take a lot longer, but you just set it and forget it. Solar oven, probably start using that more if we can. The issue is,
It's been a lot of rain.
it's been a lot of rain. That's not something you can really use with the rain. But if I have baking to do, I
Yep.
can use that for the most part. Except for bread. Bread, they say you can bake it, you just have extra steps for it. So that's one of those things I would have to learn how to do. And I'm still learning how to make bread well, especially sourdough. We're making an upgrade to our solar panels.
So it's not the one we've been talking about each month that we're still going to try to get done. Is get the transfer switches done sometime here, hopefully next few months. But this one is the way they are set up, where they're just set up on the ground. But
Which we have to.
right. Otherwise, lots of fees involved, which
In reporting.
these are mobile, can move anywhere. So underneath them, we were having trouble with grass growing. Okay, so we got a reflective things like you put in the tents. What are those called again?
I'm not sure.
It's the ones that you can put in your house to grow your tomatoes, and a lot of people use them for other stuff, but
Oh, like the grow tents.
yes, the grow tents.
The grow tents,
Right.
that reflective.
The reflective stuff inside those, that's what we're putting down there. So the bifacial, when it gets hit on that side, it will reflect back to the other side.
It looks like a really clean aluminum foil, but
Mhm.
that's not what it is.
But that should increase the amount of solar that we're producing as well.
And not only that, it will also control the weeds, which is
Right.
the big thing
Which
here.
which will increase the solar production because you're not having weeds get in the way of those panels.
Yes, because Aaron spent a good hour pulling them from the front, because we don't want to use a tool that could hurt them. He'd throw rock. That's a real concern because it is on the ground. We also don't want to put rocks down underneath them because if we need to move them,
Yep.
we were actually talking where the trees came down. We could probably actually move these a bit to get more solar activity from them. So it's just one of those things we have to think about. So I have a lot of things to work on this month.
Yes.
We do. And then in general, keeping our budget low for food and everything else, which I feel like we've been doing really good. This has probably been one of our first real months, like a real month of the budget that's not been weird. Maybe last month.
Last month was probably more real than this month.
You think
I
so?
would think so. Yes, I do.
I would have thought this month was more real.
No. Last
Why
month.
do you think last month was more real?
Oh, we didn't have anything in unexpected expenses last month.
So, well, tell them the unexpected expenses.
Strawberries for one of my coworkers because
She gives us clothes.
baby clothes for strawberries.
I feel like I'm getting the better deal. She feels like she's getting a great deal.
Yeah. So, that's, I mean, it could probably go in miscellaneous in all honesty, but we did put that in unexpected expenses.
So, I still think that's not bad. That's
No.
not bad.
No.
We did really well. So, I mean, we're staying on budget. We're staying on point, even with all the price hikes. One of the things when we first started with this new budget was the grocery budget was one we were really worried about.
It was.
Aaron was like, I have to see you actually keep to this budget. I think he expected us to have to increase
Right.
it.
So $300 was our grocery budget. We've only had 1 month over, and we were over by $25. Besides this month, which was over by $1.11 out of 5 months so far.
I mean, I feel like that's not bad.
Right. So, I mean, those first 2 months we were doing the pantry challenge. So, if we actually took the whole budget, let's see here.
He's doing the math.
We're averaging $219.99 a month right now on groceries.
For 3 people.
For 3 people.
So $220 for 3 people. I feel that is like very good
I do too.
in today's economy.
I do too.
Because I'm still buying, we don't have to buy a lot of vegetables because we grow our own
Mm-hmm.
and we preserve our own. But I buy a lot of stockpile food. I mean, if I'm buying groceries and we're not doing meals from Dills, I don't really buy groceries for the week. I buy groceries to put in the pantry.
That's true.
I mean, my working pantry is our lifeblood. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're really doing really well there. So what are you most excited about for next month?
Um, I think honestly it will be to see how this thermal cooker works. I'm just more intrigued and curious of how it really works. So, I mean, we'll definitely do a video on this just so everybody else knows as well because it's not one you hear about.
Oh, we would have bought this.
Yeah.
We would have bought this in a heartbeat because we could have heated on the grill
Mm-hmm.
to have food heated at any given time or even in the fireplace. I mean, this was what we were looking for
Yeah.
when we were looking for an option for cooking off grid because if we lose power, I mean, this isn't just like being off grid. This is seriously, how do I keep my house from getting warm?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the thing.
That's it.
How do I keep my house from getting hot in the summer? I need to bake bread, but I'm waiting for a really cold time to bake bread. So what I might actually do is some of these 40-degree nights, I might be up baking bread because I mean, if I don't see that we're going to get a cool day because I need that oven on and I'll put it in the freezer and pull it out when we're ready. You can't tell the difference.
Right.
So we try to be really smart on that. So,
What about you? What are you most excited about this month?
I would see how much we end up getting. I think a lot more stuff's going to start coming in. The apricots, things like that. We're getting close to that time frame.
Well, yeah, we should be
The
getting
grapes
more.
should start because once our grapes start, we've got months. Because when I was spraying them today, you didn't see it, but some of them were, like dime size.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I actually did when me and Dad were up there and Isabel were looking at them.
So some of them were dime size. Some of them are just getting started. So I'm really hoping that we can get some grape jelly this year.
That'd be nice.
Which would be nice. Which I have some in the freezer from last year, but I
just didn't have enough.
I didn't have enough for us to actually work with it. So I'm excited to make some this year with all of that. That's why I love a freezer. I think your freezer's part of your pantry because fruit. Some fruit you can just throw in the freezer.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to deal with it and it's cool, you can deal with it. Because I'm not going to can if I don't have to in August, except for the things I have to can. Like peaches and apples. Because I can't freeze those and then can them.
Right, yeah. And that month, it's a lot warmer always.
It's a lot warmer. It's a lot warmer. But those things only need the canner more than they need the stove on. Like these things need to cook.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's my secret. I cook it. Because I know it's going to go in the canner, and you're like, well, when you cook it, you lose the nutrients, but you're putting it in a can anyways in a jar, and then you're putting it in the canner, which is going to bring it to a boil and heat it enough to make it safe. So for me, I'm just going to cook it to where I can get as much juice and flavor and as much of anything I can pull out of that fruit.
Yeah.
So I need it cooler in the house.
Well, if you got any comments, questions, anything you want to hear in a future episode, you can send that to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. And make sure to go over and check out our link tree, which has all of the other social media sites we're on. And especially go check us out on Noster and follow us over there. And
as always, thank you for joining us on Rural Reliance with Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.